Welcome to Burning Metal Sessions. This is your host and Forge Master, Gmetal, and we're all here for the same thing. A good time, good information, and a fun conversation, guys. So what's up? Coming on to this, I just gotta shout out Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Great video game. I've been playing it non-stop for the past couple days now. It has so many hours to play in it that it's long, and yeah, something that's been done all day, right? Something new, something exciting. Now, on to the topic at hand. Streaming services. Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, and a bunch of other ones I don't know the name of or can't remember right now. What do they all have in common? They have TV shows and movies, and they're trying to take your money. All of them. Each and every one of these people want your money so that they can take it and invest it somewhere else. So, which one's better, which one's worse, which one's not? And what's the ramifications down the line? Kind of crazy to think, right? Hear me out on this. They all have their benefits. So again, you have to like what they have as an offering. So you can say, I like this, I like that. You know, there's no one answer. No one answer to say this is the right one to pick from. So which one did Gmetal like? Right now, Gmetal is watching right now Netflix, Hulu, and HBO. And I'm only watching one show on Disney Plus for WandaVision. But the fun part is, I don't pay for all of them. And we'll talk about the payment later on, right? But let's talk about the content first. Because Netflix has an array of things, right? It's like the Walmart or Best Buy, because it's getting pricier as it goes along. But it's like the one that has most things. Then Hulu, which has TV shows, which I don't watch live TV, like regular scheduled TV anymore. So Hulu is really good for me because I get to watch TV shows there. HBO Max, classics from Cartoon Network, Warrior, watch that show, and watch Lovecraft Country, and watch a bunch of these other shows, right? Lovecraft Country, Warrior, most of DC stuff, Cartoon Network, the Adult Swim section, yeah, and they have a Studio Ghibli section. If you want to watch any of those movies, they're on there too. But HBO Max, great offering, but you have to be in the mood for certain offerings, right? Disney Plus, on the other hand, for me, doesn't hold weight as much. I don't pay for it, so that's why I use it. I pay for Hulu, HBO, and Prime. Oh yeah, Amazon Prime, I forgot about that. But I use it mainly because I like the 3-day shipping, or 2-day shipping. Who doesn't like 2-day shipping on Amazon? But Prime is also really good depending on what you're trying to watch. The service itself isn't great, but 2-day shipping, guys. 2-day shipping. It's impeccable when COVID isn't around. But okay, so those are the ones I mainly focus on. But Disney Plus has a couple good old shows that I watched already. Plus, I don't really know how, like, WandaVision's a good one. Maybe a Falcon and Bucky show would be kind of fun. But the rest of the other shows are iffy, depending on how they do it. Like, I'm not really looking forward to any of the Marvel show like that. I finished watching The Mandalorian. Disney Plus is more of a momentary thing, so if I did pay for it, I would cancel it and bring it up whenever seasons were over on certain TV shows. That's just my take on it. But those are my favorites and the ones I use. So on Netflix, there's a lot of stuff, like I said, but some of the more important stuff that still has stuff coming is Cobra Kai. I don't really know what else that I really look forward to, because Sabrina I watched, but it's over. Last Kingdom's coming out. Another season of Last Kingdom. Great show. And there's a bunch of stuff on Netflix. I'm not going to try to remember everything I watch on Netflix. That's too hard. Either one. That's another one. But on HBO Max is more condensed to Cartoon Network classics. Watching Warrior for like 80th time. Season 3 is coming out next year, I believe. And Lovecraft Country is a good one to watch as well, if you haven't seen it before. Plus any movie that comes there. HBO is the best for movies. Now let's talk about the payment section of it, right? Like, how much can we actually pay for this stuff? Think about it. I pay for, like, Prime doesn't really count in this equation, but think about it. If I pay for Hulu and HBO, I don't even know how much that is, actually. Damn. I don't even know how much that costs. I should probably look into that. Yeah, I probably should. But I know Netflix costs $18 now. I think HBO Max is $15. And Hulu's probably like $15 for me still. So $30 I'm paying for just streaming services. So let's just say you got every streaming service that's ever came out because you want to watch every TV show. Like, you want all of them. That'd be like well over like $100, give or take, depending on what you're watching. If you keep all of them, and I'm talking about everything. Stars, Cinemax, Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, and Peacock, and the other ones. I don't watch Peacock, but everything has something. Like, that's expensive to have. And the bigger danger is that this could become the new cable television. Do we want another cable television time period where everything costs $1 million and you only want one channel? Or one movie, or one TV show? Nah. But that's what we're going on now. Apple is right now doing the most on that, because you can connect all your stuff through Apple, free of charge, but I'm sure there's going to be a loophole down the line. But yeah, no, I don't know how this is going to work, because you also run into the issues of net neutrality and how long that lasts. And if net neutrality lasts, then it'll just be like a weird blend of how much money people are willing to spend. But if net neutrality doesn't last, then that's going to be a real tricky time period. I don't know for those younger who don't remember the time period of internet and how the internet used to be back in the early days, companies used to make certain websites slower. And that could happen the same way of Netflix, even social media. But yeah, so Netflix cannot work with one provider, potentially, if net neutrality does get taken down. Listen, the internet is a beautiful thing, but people want to destroy it, because if you can destroy the internet, you can destroy people's ability to watch and control their own media and how they consume it. The big companies want control of everything, and streaming's their play. They're trying to convince everyone to come to them, but they realize they can't do it, because streaming has done a lot of things. One thing streaming has definitely done is created the binge watch. I'm sure everyone's done it once at least. You've binge watched one show, and you were on your butt for hours and hours and hours watching one TV show. Why? It was good. You were bored and you had nothing to do. So just put that in perspective. But another bigger thing you should think of is how and why and what would happen, right? A big thing to think is, like, where are we gonna go with these streaming sites? A lot of these sites are gonna crash as we are right now. A lot of them will crash, because besides Disney Plus doesn't have to succeed right now, because Disney has all this money shelling into it. Investors right now are putting money into Disney Plus for the future success, not necessarily for the current success. They just want to see positive trends and not negative trends. That's it. Netflix has a truckload of money at every project, and they're doing their best to always improve, so I think Netflix will stick around, obviously. HBO Max it's just like Disney Plus. Investors are investing into it right now. They will last. And Amazon will always succeed, because they're Amazon. Hulu's technically really Disney, so they'll be fine as well. But like Peacock, Cinemax, individual channels, and so on and so forth, I don't think they're gonna last. Like, at some point, you're just gonna have to start sticking to the big 5 or big 4, whatever you consider that. Like, when are we just gonna realize, like, that's gonna be the play? NBC put one on. Is NBC Peacock? I cannot tell you right now off the top of my head. But The Office cannot save one whole streaming site, no matter what happens. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of The Office, and I'm sure there's other fans of The Office, but I don't know how many of us will be paying any amount of money just to watch The Office reruns in our heads a million times. It is very sad that Netflix lost it, but I don't think that's gonna work, because Cobra Kai was on the YouTube Red. YouTube Red was essentially a streaming service for YouTube, but it didn't succeed because, well, no one wants to pay YouTube for a streaming service at all. No one wants that. YouTube didn't get the picture. They're still trying to get me to join YouTube Red. I don't know why. But Cobra Kai, great show, but people just watch highlights or pirated the show. It moved to Netflix, and it became one of Netflix's top shows that they market actively. In fact, they fast-tracked season 4. So that's how well the show's doing for Netflix. And they have an array of great shows and an array of bad shows as well, so don't get me wrong. But Netflix is the grounds where you can find great shows or bad shows, and you can still enjoy them all, right? Disney Plus, if one thing isn't good, to me, it's bad. I'm not a huge Disney fan. Like, my favorite Disney movies are Tarzan, Treasure Planet, and Aladdin. Live action was really good too. But of those movies I stated, I don't think Tarzan or Treasure Planet is on Disney Plus. I like Gargoyles, but I already watched it. And there was a bunch of other shows I liked, but didn't pique my interest as much as Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dexter's Laboratory, Codename Kid Next Door. Guys, streaming services are great. HBO Max all the way. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding about HBO Max all the way, though. But no, I'm just not a giant fan of Disney stuff. Because I'm not a Disney princess movie type of person. There's not enough Disney movies for me to watch. I can just buy them. And also, I'm not going to lie, on top of the selection being poor in my opinion, actually just falls on most everyone. If you're not Netflix or Hulu, your service crash a lot. Disney Plus will not play a title at all. It will never work. HBO Max, it works eventually. But if a title crashes for Disney, you're not going to watch it for the whole day. If it crashes for HBO Max, you just got to turn it on and turn it back on, and it'll work. And then it's always buffering on HBO Max. It's hard to binge watch on both of them. That's an annoyance on that. Prime, I don't use as much, so I can't tell you. I only watch like certain things on there, and sometimes it does mess up and sometimes it doesn't. But either way you look at it, Netflix is still king of just like content, packages, content, and overall good service of like not crashing and nothing like that. Like for the most part, Netflix is king of just the overall package. And they curate a lot of good stuff, and they make a lot of experimental stuff. That's the thing about Netflix. Netflix takes risk on their creators. You can find anything from weird space things to just your generic like dramas of like Roma. I wasn't a big fan of Roma, but people loved Roma. And I like the bad sci-fi movies. They're fun to watch. And there's plenty of them on Netflix, and they're decent. You got the movie Power with Jamie Foxx. That's a good one. Just so many. And BBC also does work well with Netflix in America. So you get a lot of good BBC shows on Netflix, like Last Kingdom. Also, Netflix is the savior of a lot of TV shows. And I love that. And HBO is starting to do that. So we'll see how people deal with cancellations of certain TV shows, moving them over. But the big thing here in streaming is, I don't know how we're going to judge this in the future. Honestly, how will we judge streaming? Because most of these companies don't release numbers. They don't release like any hard evidence that anyone really watched something. The only way you could tell if someone watched something is if you cancel it and like everyone you've known is just pissed off, or if it continues. If it gets canceled and no one says a word, it happened. That's how you know if it really, really worked. And the thing is, you can only tell for the big shows, right? The really big shows, you can only tell that's how it works. But the mid-level exceptions and the low shows, can you really tell me you know exactly what's happening? You can't. So, good luck on Hollywood trying to judge these shows. Like, monetarily speaking, you're not going to pull it off. They don't, I'm sure they have stats, but they're not showing them. Why not? I don't see why you should have to show them sometimes. Because sometimes saying, oh, this only had X amount of number of views in week 1 will take away from people's viewing. Because, oh, that means a lot of people don't like it. It's a positive and a negative, but streaming is a different beast. Can we say it's gonna be forever the way it is now? No. It's the Wild West right now. It's definitely gonna evolve into some corporate money pit. For us, let's just be honest. This will become a money pit for us, and we will put money into it because we want to watch our favorite TV shows. We are gullible, okay? This will become a money pit, and then eventually, until someone else comes up with a decent idea, we'll keep on feeding the money pit. I'm still going to continue buying my movies. That's the truth. Because good movies deserve to be bought. Good TV shows deserve to be bought. Censorship and all this stuff where you could just do a quick edit on... Nah, man, I'm not down for that. So, I do like streaming services and I pay for them. But to me, if you really want to support a TV show or movie, buy merchandise and buy DVDs and Blu-rays and whatever the next Blu-ray 4K thing is, right? Buy those things, buy the hats, buy the shoes, buy the toys, if there's toys. And if it's just a really good movie, promote it. Promote it to everyone. Become its evangelist. So everyone watches it. But being a fan is weird because you can never prove your show is popular or not popular. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't believe for a second that the top 10 is always the top 10 on Netflix. At all. I don't believe that that's not manufactured in a certain way. Because they don't have any reason to tell you what is popping or what not popping. And how, like, it's just... it's weird. No evidence, no proof. You're not gonna get what you think you need. And I truly believe that streaming is gonna have to evolve into something else. There's too many uncertainties for Hollywood to continue this. How can you be certain about a project and pay an actor a certain amount of money and this and that? Right now it's Wild West because people let it. But once someone puts their foot down and says, listen, I'm not investing in something that's hypothetical, what is it really doing? So yeah, streaming wars, my opinion, it's gonna end with the big three. A mixture of Hulu and Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Netflix. And in between those three, other companies that failed, like Peacock will start shifting to whoever pays the most. And all those other companies like Cinemax and all of them, they'll start shifting to different companies for deals and exclusivity rights. And if, let's just say your content's really popping, then it will be with everyone, and then you just pay everyone whatever. So we'll see exactly, but I really do believe the future of streaming is this concept. If you guys, I don't know, do you guys disagree with me? Like, if you're on a YouTube video, tell me in the comments. If you're on social media, if you're listening to a podcast, go on my social media and tell me what you think about this under the post with this episode. You know, tell me, cause listen, I'm known for having hot takes, so to speak. So that's one way to put it. But I'm really excited for what could come, and I just can't wait to see who's the last survivor, or the last three, or the last two. Because ultimately, I don't want it to be the last one. Because if you're a wrestling fan, you know the nightmare has been to have only WWE become the big dog, and all the other shows just like small indie shows. You know that pain. But I mean, what else can be said about streaming shows? They're great and they're terrible. Also, the quality of these shows have dropped because of binging, right? Hate watching, binging, and all these things are now a fact. While weekly shows would used to have to be good every season for you to come back, these shows can be mediocre, but you just want to know what happens in the moment. Curiosity kills the cat type of deal. And that's just the way it's going to keep going until something else comes out. A new strategy, a new system. I'm looking forward to all of it. And yeah, so in the comments or in any kind of comment box, put your favorite one, what you watch. Disagree with me, don't disagree with me. But thanks for listening to Metal Sessions Streaming Wars. And yeah, man, have a metal day.